Hello, everyone, and welcome to our almost always bi-weekly um, Boring Enterprise Nerd Letter. It's Nerd Letter Talk, and
There we
I
go.
almost stumbled right past it into some other name that was my brain was going to leak out. Nerd Letter Talk, where we talk about the things that we're going to write about. Probably. And sometimes we write about other things because the mood strikes
Yeah,
and something crumbles. But we love to talk anyway. And so we share with you guys what we're up to. My name is Paul Moderman. With me is Yelena Perfilyeva. And I'm just going to jump in and start talking.
awesome. Go for it.
So I know that I do AI stuff all the time. Like all the time on this newsletter. And this issue will be no different. But what I wanted to do is because I've started to see this pop up some more and more. If it, People might remember last year that two of the Nobel Prizes went partially or wholly to AI research in the either chemistry or biology Nobel Prizes. And one of the things that I think is maybe one of the non-fluffy BS parts of AI capabilities that are emerging is research and discovery with like legit science that is assisted by AI. So, there's all kind. I mean, even on threads today at work, there's discussions of like, you know, what's the best? Is it good? Is it not good for writing code for us? All this kind of stuff. One thing that is starting to emerge in the past a little bit and now even more is that, you know, enterprise or SaaS or whatever stuff aside, getting stuff done research wise is a legit possibility and a real thing happening. So I found three things at least from the last week or two that poke into this. One of these is materials design that is accelerated by AI research. Materials design has like tons of applicability to lots of things, right? Like better materials are what get you like better solar panels, better integrated circuits, better computer chips, all this kind of stuff. Materials design is huge, and exploring like what can be constructed from various materials is something that without powerful computing is like super hard. And AI is here these days doing really cool and interesting things with materials design. It's also doing cool stuff to do like cancer discovery. So there's this company called Cerebras, and they make specialized chips for the AI space. So there are certain like you guys, because I mean we've all seen like the hey, write me a prompt and it'll make you an app like demos, right? And
Yeah.
they're usually like, okay, it's good if you have a very simple request, it's very, whatever. And what Cerebras does is they don't make necessarily make the AI smarter. They make it way faster.
Mm.
So there's really Gillian, I can't remember if I showed you. There's a demo out there, and I have a website hooked up to it where you can type in like make me a to-do app that has unicorns and rainbows and stuff like that, right? And like if you do that with ChatGPT or Claude these days, it's gonna take a minute before it like gives you
Mm.
something, right?
Yeah.
This is legitimately, I'm not kidding, 1 second
Wow.
and you have that thing, right? And so even if the quality isn't better, just having like 1 second iteration time on like, no, I wanted unicorns, not horses. No, I wanted rainbows, not squirrel, that kind of stuff. If you have 1 second of like it giving you that feedback, that's different, right? That's more helpful than I have to tell it what I want and then wait a minute and then be like,
Yeah.
no, I want unicorns, not horses. And then another minute goes by and maybe you get unicorns, right?
Mm.
So with that same technology, they're also doing research in partnership with the Mayo Clinic on cancer and other things that can be detected and examined much more quickly and much more accurately.
Mm.
That stuff. So uh, it may not be ERP stuff, but I wanted to give some positive AI vibes out there to these kind of things that I don't think these are of the same nature as the like, can it help me write code? Can it help me,
Yeah.
to submit my approvals and stupid stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Um, but now for my second story, on to the stupid approvals and things like that. Um, I also love to highlight like open source work that folks do or like publicly available stuff folks do in search of helping people do
Oh
things.
man,
And
I
so,
had this one too. Damn it,
oh,
Paul.
did you?
You
Oh
you stole
no.
my story.
That's
That's okay.
fine. We'll figure something out.
No, yeah,
Because
that's fine.
and maybe we can make different points about it, right?
Yeah.
Because what I was gonna say is like I love that people are doing this kind of thing. I love that people are doing it. But what I've seen, because I've done some like generative AI projects, and what I've seen is that like inside like your enterprise system, especially a system like SAP ERP running ABAP, like it is a little bit difficult to imagine right now how applicable this is to like approving POs and things like that,
Mm,
right? Because what you, at least these days, what you want is like, if you're going to use generative AI or large language models to help you do stuff in and around, you know, SAP ERP or other ERPs,
mm,
what you want is like to build something that helps you, but that gives a human like the chance to like review and aggregate it or like review and look at it and say, "Yep, good job, AI. Oops, no, I don't want that AI." Right? And if you're inserting this deep in the core of the ERP itself, you have to be careful on how you're designing it to have that review layer in the process, right?
mm,
So if you're like ABAP body or whatever, right, as has like a call to a language model in it, I hope your overall process supports the human review of what goes on in that when that goes on, right?
mm.
Because when I write code for ABAP or for like a enterprise app, it's usually to like do a very specific thing in a very predictable way. And
Mm.
LLMs are that's not quite the realm they play in the very predictable, very whatever kind of way. So this is super interesting, and I will love to see where people actually go with it if they go anywhere with it, right?
Yeah.
Like if you so open source community or just community in general, if you guys make use of this inside the ABAP stack, tell us what you do because I'll be very curious to see like inside the ABAP stack how this gets used in the best way.
Mm.
Very curious.
Because
But yeah,
yeah, I saw that, and without reading through the whole thing, my immediate thought was like, but what does it do though? Like what exactly is immediate benefit or something? Because sometimes you see something and like, oh my God, I can see it like 100 ways it's helpful, or I had this problem before. It's exactly like what I need or what I could have used. With this case, like cool, but also like
yeah.
like
Like
where do I
show
put
me the
it?
example. Show
Yeah,
me where you're doing this.
and I think it might be just, I think this person just started this. They seem to be accelerating quickly because they made like an announcement post that's linked here way
Hmm.
before, and they just started actual repository. So maybe it's something that's coming up, but I'm kind of thinking maybe starting with actually showing some practical applications that probably should be the first step and not really the last step. So I don't know. I don't mean to criticize this idea in any way, but it's just it's difficult to see through this kind of text, I guess. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So I think from both of us, it sounds
mm,
like examples, please. Like,
yeah,
because I would love
yeah,
to see
yeah,
examples, right? Because
yeah, yeah,
I believe generally in the usefulness of LLMs.
yeah,
Just
yeah. Of
let's
course,
see the specifics here of
yeah.
what this is geared for in
Mm.
ABAP scenarios, because I would genuinely love to see that. Um, and so my third thing, sorry everyone, another AI thing. So I did business AI last week. I did like a, hey, what the heck is business AI? And then our friend, what's his name? Philip Herzig publishes this big
Mm.
giant like business AI Q4 2024 release highlights just as of a few days ago, 13th. What was that? 4 days ago.
Mm.
Um, And what it's got is a lot of these videos from Tech Ed, videos from Sapphire, marketing videos, that kind of stuff. Um, a couple of things that I note is that like just like that last thing, I would love to see more real world people tell me how they're using Joule
Yeah.
and show that. And it's again, it's not because I don't believe that things can be, at least for myself, I don't believe that things can't be done. I believe you can do stuff, but I think people need to see examples that are less contrived than a
Mm.
video example of like,
Yeah.
show me this document.
Yeah.
Show me sales order 1239784. Like you can sort of already get that, right? It's like develop or create examples or show customer examples, and maybe there are, but I just have missed them, of Jewel doing like interesting things, you know?
Yeah.
So that's one thing.
And I don't know
Um,
if,
yeah.
sorry to interrupt, I don't know
No,
if
please.
it's funny or sad, but that's been the case with pretty much everything that SAP puts out like forever. Every time something happens, everyone's like, well, can you show us some examples? Can you show us some business cases? Even what just immediately came to my mind, that infamous unit testing, that ABAP unit test
Oh
course on
yeah.
OpenSAP. I mean, great idea, but the examples that they used, I can't relate to that. I never write the code that calculates like, well, add five to this number or some basic stuff. Like it's just not what happens in reality. And when you
Yeah.
show examples like this, um, I, people just are not as interested, or it's not as easy to understand, get your point when these are the examples you're showing. And the same has been happening with SAP. Like they cannot get out of, oh, we're doing like expense report approval, awesome on my phone. Like, bro, or like, oh, getting this invoice in PDF, and we can get like text from it. Like, oh, like, bros. I mean, come on now. So yeah, so
Yeah.
it's been a consistent gripe, yet nothing
Yeah.
is happening. So it's just, I think, frustrating for the whole SAP universe. But yeah, please, I,
I mean,
I,
I mean, I mean,
yeah,
this is, and to be fair to SAP, this is probably a very hard problem for them because
yeah.
like, how are you going to get your customers to show their internal processes to the universe?
Well,
You know what I
they
mean? Like,
twist customer hands into paying the maintenance fee, so I'm sure
yeah,
they can convince
those sometimes
customers
those
to
I
share
kind
them.
of I have grown to just hate case studies written by
Yeah,
software vendors
yeah,
because they just fluff out to nothing. They're
yeah,
just it's just nothing. When you
yeah.
see a
Yeah,
like I go so, sometimes there's those innovation awards and stuff like that.
yeah,
You can read the pitch deck that gets sent to those things, and you're like half of them you're like, so but what did you do? Like I don't think you
yeah,
did anything, you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
So it's tough. It's tough. All
Well,
sides around, it's tough.
yeah, but I mean, novel idea, like maybe offer some incentive, like throw your customer some bones in the way of some like BTP credits or whatever. I
Yeah.
mean, doesn't need to, it's not really like bribery situation. It's just like, hey guys, we appreciate you showing. Here is like free maintenance for a year or
Yeah. Yeah.
some stuff like that. I'm sure SAP can. Or here's like free SAP tech and ticket for this
And
person.
some
Or
account
what?
exec is like, whoa, 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 don't
Like,
promise that.
hold up. Like, hold on a second. Like,
You
so
guys
yeah,
shut
but
up. Don't say
yeah.
that.
I think there is. I mean, it's my mom always used to say, and I think she kind of borrowed that from grandma, and who knows how many generations before, is that whoever wants is looking for an opportunity, and who
Mm,
doesn't want looking for an excuse. So I'm kind of
mm,
feeling there is
yeah.
a bit of that. So yeah, sorry,
Yeah. That's a good way to put
climbing off my soapbox
it.
clumsily.
The only other, and I mean, there's other things too that I'll kind of write about, but the only other thing I wanted to point out with this is that you can build like just like all the cloud and software providers, you can build like an estimate essentially of the
Mm,
various, and you can do that with AI features now. Um, and so you can go and do this, and what's interesting is that there are some AI features that are essentially that are free, even if you put like a
mm,
billion uses of it, it doesn't cost anything, which is that's pretty cool. There's others that are in there that it's like just like any other tool, you see you're sometimes with this, you're like, I don't know exactly what this is.
Yeah.
I don't like so there's more. I mean, again, hard problem. I like I haven't solved it either, so I don't know how to do it. But like
Mm.
when you just like your mileage may drastically vary on these things when you put them out there into the cost estimators.
Mm.
Like I bet you, I like hard to imagine that these are even close to what actually gets paid and saved when you get down to the nuts and bolts of it. I
Yeah.
just put in some fake numbers on things just to see, and there is this like they include these savings things too, where you're like, oof, that's tough to like. I wonder how you're coming up with that. So
Yeah.
this fake setup I did had a cost of $4.2 million, or 4.2 million euros. There
Wow.
was one of them that has a lot of pieces to it. I think this one
Mm.
is. I have no idea what the appropriate amount for document grounding is.
Yeah.
Probably isn't 10 million. Let's just say it's 10,000. Right. So like I just don't like I don't know what to do
Yeah.
in here
Yeah.
for whatever. But nevertheless, this is helpful. So I'll
Mm.
point this out too. People should go try this because you can see what counts as like AI features that are
Yeah.
priceable these
Yeah.
days, and there's a fair amount. So that's all from me on my stuff. Um, returning control to you somehow. There it is.
Awesome.
Over to you, Yelena. Tell
Hi.
us tell
Sweet.
us your
Sweet.
brain's biggest thoughts.
I will tell you everything. Just give me a second. So I also kind of had a story in my mind, which includes the items that you, Paul, just shared.
Mm,
It was, I would say, general kind of ABAP plus AI, because there had
yeah,
been, including that post, that had been suddenly kind of flurry of all the posts that are related to both ABAP and AI somehow involved. So
yeah,
it kind of maybe overarching story a little bit, but I just wanted to make sure to cover
yeah.
this developments. So first post that, and for full disclosure, both Paul and I talked about this before, and we both commented on this post. So this
The
is
Sandra got the full Boring Enterprise Nerds love on
yes,
her
Andrew
post
got
here.
full experience already. So 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 Sandra Rossi, who has been very long time contributor to SAP community in ABAP space.
Mm.
Sorry, she is this mystery person who never seeked any publicity. She just quietly goes in and answers, I think, these days probably 95% of ABAP questions, and occasionally share some of her thoughts. So
Yeah,
I was delighted to see blog posts from her because she's always very good. So she's sharing that she wanted to get essentially functional specification from the kind of old-timey ABAP code, and she shares what the result was. Result was like spoiler alert, was not spectacular, and that was basically I think the gist of our comments from Paul and I, that it's kind of, first of all, you need to ask for a specific thing to get specific thing, and it might be difficult. And I kind of think that in general, this kind of idea, it's really great idea, and it's something that frequently comes to people's minds when they think about like ABAP and AI
yeah,
and SAP
yeah.
applications. But unfortunately, I honestly think it's may not even be realistic in many cases, because it would involve getting some information that is essentially just not there. So
Yeah.
at some point, someone asked developer to write some code. Why did they do that? What was train of thought behind this? What was discussed? That information has been lost, it looks like in this case. And
Yeah.
getting that back, if I'm quite honest, it's just not gonna happen
I,
sometimes. Or
I don't see how. Yeah.
or you have to go and do like a lot of digging, which can depend a lot on how you manage your changes. And honestly, I think we talked about this before. We talked about like project management, about agile, about
Mhm.
change management, about how companies sometimes implement terrible procedures that just derail everything or just make everything difficult for no reason. And I think there is some element of that um, if anyone is kind of serious about use of AI, we should be preparing ahead of time for the future use
Yeah.
cases,
Yeah.
essentially. So while we
Yeah.
have time right now, think about it. If you get a fighting chance of analyzing anything, just think about um, what's your procedure going to be, what your plan is
Yeah.
for that, and then just try to think forward, maybe
Yeah,
not just
I think
react
you're
to the.
totally right. Yeah, I think you're totally right. And so I only have two short
Yeah,
reactions here. One is that the kind of question, the kind of thing that Sandra said in her prompt is like I work with a lot of people who it's their first time kind of trying things out. She did exactly what a lot of people do.
yeah,
So like there's no manual for how to use these things, right? So that like there's no hate whatever in terms of this. The second thing is mega kudos to Sandra for posting this and for genuinely being like, what the heck, guys? Because like especially for me as a Kool-Aid drinker, like I need to be slapped in the face with this this is not magic. It didn't do the thing. I need to like and all of us need to see the examples out there. And Sandra, putting yourself out there, thank you for doing that. Seriously, thank you.
yeah, yeah. I think starting conversation is
Yep.
just hugely important.
Yep.
All right, so I also had this ABAP LLM, so we talked about that. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna repeat it, but there was another project that I just kind of stumbled upon from our dear friend and my manager, Ethan Jewett. So thank you, Ethan, for pointing this out. So
Brownie points.
someone apparently is inviting cease and desist order from SAP, I guess, by starting this the Jewel project,
You're gonna have to change that name.
which yeah, which cool name, but I kind of again I looked at it, I'm like interesting, but like like um, but but how? But and what? But I think it is an interesting idea. But and this one actually has a demo, so that's a different from
Oh,
the
that's
ABAP
awesome.
LLM client.
Awesome.
So there is some demo. You can look at it, at least understand where this person is going
Yeah.
to and like what. So I think this was maybe thought through maybe just a little bit more. So again, this again something to do with ABAP. Really cool like thinking. I'm really glad that people um think about it and not just in terms of kind of poo-pooing AI completely and also not like complete opposite like getting drunk on corporate Kool-Aid. I really like this kind of middle ground where people try to explore
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
area. So yeah.
So I only have one other comment on this one too. If
Mm-hmm.
you scroll down just a little bit, there's like a
Yep.
chart in there. Keep going. This compatibility thing. Yeah, scroll up just a little bit. The
This one.
table there,
Yep.
compatibility. Yeah. So like I don't know how long ago this person started doing this project, but I would also recommend. So like, and again, maybe they started at a different time. They started with the dumbest AIs, right? They added
Yeah.
the dumbest AIs first to the compatibility. Like if you're going to put something out there for people to use, I suggest start with the best ones
Mm.
because then the people who use this will get the best experience of
Yeah.
like whatever. So my like to Nick or whoever this person is, I think it's Nick something. Start with Claude 3.5 Sonnet and GPT-4o. Start there and then work backwards to the other ones if you have to do some kind of compatibility layer or whatever that you're do this like
Yeah.
start with the best ones.
Yeah. That would make sense. All right. So yeah, so that's the one. Also obligatory honorary mention to the OG IBM ABAP AI SDK that has been around
Yeah.
since like 20, I want to say like 2019 probably, something around that time. It uses IBM's Watson APIs that are publicly available. I think they have released an update, so I'm gonna dig up this information and just include it in the story if if this happens to be a story. So, but while we are on the ABAP subject, I also wanted to mention I'm not sure again, like Paul said in the beginning, sometimes stories kind of develop. suddenly
Yeah,
over the
yeah,
weekend. Even
yeah,
I have been watching ABAP Conf replays because I missed it when it was in December, and even the event before that. There are recordings available on their website. I'm gonna add a link if anyone wants to watch it. So there um, amount of presentations there is pretty large. You can see there were three
yeah,
channels running the whole day in parallel, but all of these replays are available. Some of them are in German, which makes it a little bit difficult. And they are also shared on YouTube, but not as like separate presentations, but as a full stream of like full like 8 hour,
yeah.
how many hours were there. So it
Get
is a
your
little
get your cozy robe and
yeah,
your mug of coffee
exactly. So it's like
ready.
Game of Thrones level, like binge watching material.
Binge watch
So
ABAP
yeah,
Conf.
it might just make it slightly difficult to consume, but what was actually helpful to me, if you scroll down, there is a schedule
Oh
by
yeah.
the channel. So I think they may have added like chapters to their YouTube video, but
Mm,
this schedule was really helpful, at least initially, to me to see like, okay, what I'm like what's in German. I want to ignore it for the time being, even though, to be honest, if you know just a tiny bit of German, half of it is English or ABAP anyway. So
yeah.
I had no problem like understanding the gist of what they were saying without any even using any like YouTube translation or anything. So, but
Okay, they
yeah,
said something about sauerkraut and then
yeah,
unit testing. So I'm good. I
like
got it. Yeah.
yeah, exactly, exactly. So, but yeah, so just really enormous amount of material, and I would say I have not really seen a presentation which was like, well, it was like a waste of my time to watch this. So
Yeah.
all of them are
Those are
at
good.
least worth your time.
Yep.
Some may be more or less, but yeah, there isn't really anything that's like, damn, I just sat through like an hour sales speech. So good for the organizers.
Shout out to Bjorn
Yeah.
showing up there.
Oh yeah, Bjorn Schultz. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Our friend of the friend of the
Friend of the
nerds
pod.
and enthusiast of ABAP
Yeah.
tools.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you, Bjorn. Right, and then let's see. So our another blog post. So this is an interesting subject that I kind of thought of when I saw this blog post. This is from Martin Pankratz, who is with Microsoft and part of really great ABAP and SAP enthusiast group over there. He wrote this post specifically about SNC, which is secure network communications that is used when you use like RFC,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
SAP remote function call
Yep.
connection here. So first of all, really thorough blog posts, really detailed with all like the information, background, everything, explaining what it is, which I really enjoy. Even though it's not really my area of expertise. But what I also kind of thought about is like how peculiar that RFC is like such an old thing, but it's like still alive, still used in so many ways that
So
sometimes
many.
we don't even, and it's one of those things that you don't even know it's like RFC
Yeah.
supporting something like that you think is amazing
Yeah,
because
no, if you're using a tool that is built by a third party that's like showing you SAP stuff, like dollars to donuts, RFC is what's helping
yeah,
that tool do the
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, so kind of tip of the hat, or I don't know,
Yeah.
homage to the good old RFC, the unsung hero of SAP world.
Yeah.
So I don't know, I might dig up some little bit of history just to share
Oh yeah.
with younger readers, maybe some interesting stuff. So and I was like, and my last but not least subject is I was like, I don't know if Paul is going to pick this up, but I'm like, I want to just cover this. It's not really usual subject. So CES that exhibits that huge like consumer
Yeah.
electronics event was was in Vegas. It just ended, so you will find probably tons of videos from
Yeah.
influencers like walking around the show floor, like, hey, check it out, guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was there are sometimes great events, there are sometimes bizarre events. And this
Uh-huh.
one, I think, was maybe a little bit into bizarre territory because big part of it was like cleaner robots. And as a person who has territory to clean, I'm like all for it.
Yeah,
And so the main kind of groundbreaking product was their robots that can pick up stuff. So it has like
yeah,
an arm that can like pick up socks, and that I think honestly solves, providing that it actually works, that solves a lot of problem, like for
yeah.
people like me who like, okay, we do have robot which we bought like cheap from Costco. I don't know, it's like some
Mm.
Chinese knockoff or iRobot. And the main problem with it is that it does a decent job, but first I have to walk through our whole house and make sure there is nothing on the floor that it
You
can,
have to
you
like,
know,
yeah,
suck up and then get stuck or break even worse on it.
you have to
So
pre-clean for the robot to,
exactly. And
yeah,
and when you do that, it's like, well, I might as well just drag like vacuum cleaner behind me, and just do all that while I clean. It's kind of
yeah,
superficial activity at this point. But
yeah.
so this would really be groundbreaking experience. And there were some really clumsy robots, which kind of idea looked amazing at first. It was like kind of a real home kind of assistant robot. But then I saw a video and I almost like LOL'd or like LMFAO'd on the floor there because it was just so ridiculously clumsy.
Yeah.
And the video itself was just deliciously cringy. I don't know. I might end up just sharing it because it was just hilarious
Oh, that's good.
with human like standing there in front of the robot, like, robot, pour me a drink, and robot is like, beep
Just
boop,
doesn't
I
even.
have orange juice and I have Chex Notes watermelon juice. And I'm like, for fuck's sake, bro, just grab a drink. It's right there on the countertop. I mean, seriously, it was
uh,
honestly the most ridiculous display of pretending to be cutting edge technology.
oh, I love it.
And it's to be frank, it's a pity because there think about amount of work that went into this. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And someone looking at it like 50 years ago, they would be like, they would just go
It's a
nuts.
miracle.
They wouldn't
Yeah.
believe it's a miracle. But now you look at it and it's just like, bro, this is just funny and cringe. It's not impressive.
Yep.
And from the least impressive, so this like takes the cake for it's one of those things. It's you look at it and it's like it's either genius or incredibly dumb. So this innovation is it's called Meg Mouse.
Mouse.
It's a mouse that has a magnet that attaches to your laptop. And I looked at it and I genuinely thought, is this really meant only for like Apple products? Is it not gonna work with my run-of-the-mill like Dell
Your
laptop?
IBM plasticware
Yeah, like
laptop. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what's it made of, honestly. So I'm looking like, yeah, but and I'm thinking I did kind of have a challenge where I worked in the office. I sometimes had to take my laptop and to walk like to the room across the building with it. And
Yeah.
I prefer to use a mouse because it's thingy that track whatever that is. It's not usable, to be honest,
Yeah. Yeah.
touchpad. So and but I always would just put a mouse like in my pocket. so so I'm looking at like, yeah, I guess many people maybe don't have pockets, especially women. If they're
Yeah.
wearing dresses, they don't have pockets, but maybe that's for that. But I'm like, I don't know. Again, it's it's like, is this genius or incredibly stupid? The jury is out. Or you can maybe have like wired mouse that you can just kind of drag behind you. I don't know. Just go take a step back in technology. So I don't know. I just think it is kind of hilarious that this type of stuff makes it to the show floor together with robots
you know what would
and
be
vacuum cleaners.
you know what would be great is that like, oh no, I don't have a metal laptop. I can't use this. Will be
Yeah.
like next year, just gonna be like a headband where you can just like strap the mouse to your head as you walk around or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. Like corporate headband with your company logo.
With your
There you
company logo,
go,
just
man.
And then
fall. We
mouse
should
goes
we
on
should
it.
just go for it. So CES 2026, here we come. Corporate headband. Take notes, competitors. You
Center
you
stage
heard it
keynote.
here. Awesome.
Boring Enterprise Nerds headband. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
awesome. You put like mouse and coffee cup, like with a
coffee
straw.
cup.
so, so yeah, so all the old ideas
A
become new
little
ideas.
a little like printer to print out your
Oh
stuff
yeah,
too. Yeah, I mean, gosh, the sky is the limit
yeah, yeah,
on
and
this headband.
scanner for your expense receipts as well. So with OCR and AI somehow
Oh.
involved. So sweet, awesome.
Well, guys, this was our Boring Enterprise Nerdler Talk. And I remembered the name here. I made sure to think of it before I
Great.
said it. Please, check out our issue and it's upcoming. Subscribe, like, share, comment, send money, send food, whatever you just please watch our stuff, like our stuff. We like doing it when we like sharing with you. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Bye.